Chapter 61 The situation escalates, and the program team speaks out. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 61 The situation escalated and the program team spoke out. However, Luo Ming's gaze did not waver in the slightest. Diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit, that he opened his mouth and said. Since the beginning of the last century, there have been signs that some major criminals around the world have secretly received some kind of funding. This kind of help comes in various types, including technical and financial. The purpose is obvious, which is to allow these murderers to continue to commit serious crimes and breed crime. This may indicate that there is a secret organization that funds crime in the world. Lao Gua, now I can only think of this reason. This is why the murderer in the injection room today was able to fake his identity and hide in the police station. Use high technology to fool the camera. There is an organization secretly helping him, or in other words, he relies on this organization and uses criminal means to repay. Director Gua heard this and suddenly grabbed Luo Ming's shoulder, looking directly at him with a pair of bloodshot eyes, but Luo Ming's eyes were still calm and firm. After a few seconds, Director Gua's hand slowly slipped away, and then he sighed feebly. Maybe you are right, I can't imagine a criminal being able to do this. Halfway through, he suddenly changed the subject. But, Lao Luo, isn't the appearance of Su Chen an exception? He can really do things beyond our expectations. Therefore, I think it is wrong to blame all incomprehensible criminal processes on a mystique organization. An escape. Not really. Luo Ming said. Now, crime-solving organizations around the world are also aware of the hidden secrets. Including our De Shenghan, the Sugar Wolf Detective Agency of the Bear Country, the East Side Kirk Studio in the United States, the Mensa Society, the Agatha Society composed of female detectives, and even the Formo of the Parrot Country. Studio C, are all following the traces left by the organization. If it does exist, we will find it. Director Guo was speechless. He didn't know what kind of information these unofficial detective organizations had obtained that made them so eager to track down this organization that currently only existed in speculation. There is only one thing on his mind right now. Whether there is an organization or not, our first step is to arrest the murderer who committed the murder in the injection room. Director Guo said. Even if there is an organization, the best way to obtain information about it is to catch the person and interrogate him. Luo Ming nodded in disbelief. Lao Gua, it depends on your plan. Director Gua's expression became more serious, and he said. Our Jinling Public Security Bureau will take over this case first, and I will report the situation to my superiors immediately. In addition, I think it is necessary to communicate with the official live broadcast of Murder Chase to separate it from the case and not interfere with each other. Firstly, the variety show is a variety show and the case is a case. Secondly, the safety of the fugitives can be guaranteed. I hope Su Chen won't be in danger. I'll beg him. That night, it was less than 4 hours after Su Chen's identity was exposed, the official Chasing Murder live broadcast released an announcement overnight. From the beginning of the live broadcast of Chasing the Murderer to the present, 2 members of the expert team have sacrificed, which makes us extremely heartbroken. Although they cannot continue to accompany us in our pursuit, the fugitive is rampant and we will never allow him to escape justice. Therefore, with reference to Su Chen's bounty rankings, we reorganized the expert team and added 3 new detective elites. They are, Luo Ji and Shi Yong from Shenghan, and the female detective from Sakura Country, Karita Uesugi, who is ranked 30th on the Asian detective list. The real battle has just begun. Criminals whose identities are exposed will never escape the pursuit of Skynet. You can never escape the pursuit of Skynet. This sentence contains an obvious meaning of challenge, which can be described as full of gunpowder. This is also a sentence specially added by the chief director Chen Qiming to express his position because he was afraid that the concept of the program would be distorted. He has a strong desire to survive. The viewers who were still staying in the live broadcast room were instantly excited when they saw this announcement. Children who go to bed late get candy. Oh my God, isn't this Luo Ji the same person who solved Su Chen's riddle in 1 second? Why do I feel that Su Chen is a little confused? I checked and found out that the big boss of Shinhan Association still holds the highest record in the membership test. He dominates all geniuses. Can Su Chen escape from under his grasp? It's hard to say. Now that Su Chen's identity has been exposed, the difficulty of escaping will only increase exponentially. Uesugi Aki, the most beautiful detective in Sakura country. She received a diploma from Waseda University at the age of 14. She has both good looks and strength. I am a fan of this sister. Although her ranking is one place lower than Su Chen's on the Asian detective list, her strength is probably on par with Su Chen's, plus the great master Luoji. Su Chen, what are you going to do? I'm very worried about you. And sure, Yong, this eldest brother is a veteran who has returned from the battlefield. He rushed up from the dead and has a lot of strength. I found out that his team once fought with an American battalion and held on guard for 18 hours. Maid, I'm a little numb. This time's expert team lineup is so luxurious. I wonder what Su Chen would think when he sees this. He is really in trouble. So many great people have been exposed. At the same time, in the special live broadcast window of the backstage studio of the live broadcast of the murderer. This window is mainly used for comments from guests and hosts, as well as the transmission of some legal knowledge. Hello everyone, see you again, I am your Guangchuan. Teacher Guangchuan smiled and waved at the camera. Hello everyone, I am the special guest, Duan Yu. Officer Duan waved weakly beyond the camera. He had just undergone a psychological assessment and was said to be in the stage of adjusting his mentality. Therefore, the higher-ups gave him a paid vacation, let him adjust his mentality. Chapter 62. Did Su Chen mess up, or did he have another purpose? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 62. Did Su Chen screw up, or does he have another purpose? After Su Chen's incident, Duan Yu's hacker heart almost collapsed, so he decided to change his mood these days and was invited to be a guest backstage to explain the content of the live broadcast. The conversation began. Beside Duan Yu, teacher Guangchuan was indeed a skilled host, and he immediately grasped the focus of the current discussion. I saw the comments of netizens, saying that Su Chen is in danger this time, and the lineup of the expert group is so bright that they can't open their eyes. I wonder what Officer Duan thinks. Su Chen's action this time eliminated 2 people and welcomed 3 people. Did he miscalculate? I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network. The audience also interacted enthusiastically. For a program with such a large audience size as the live broadcast of Chasing Murderers, there will always be people watching at any time, even in the early morning. It will never be boring. That's the taste, Teacher Guangchuan. I miss you so much. That's right, Officer Duan, please give us your evaluation. After all, you have fought against Su Chen. Can Su Chen escape this time? I don't think so. The lineup of the expert team this time is obviously to crush Su Chen with absolute strength. Both sides are not in the same league. That's right. I suspect that the director team is afraid that Su Chen will run too long and cause trouble, so they made a mechanical general god in an attempt to kill the game in a short time. Seeing this barrage, the chief director Chen Qiming, who was hiding behind the scenes, blushed. This generation of netizens is really good at judging people. At the beginning, Shinhan and Jintian Detective Agency sent a request to join together to compete for the quota. Chen Qiming's heart moved, and he accepted all of them directly, without offending either side. The purpose is to hope that the masters will quickly catch Su Chen back. As a director, he has created history in the ratings and viewing volume of the live broadcast of The Pursuit of the Murderer. It is the wisest choice to stop while you are ahead. However, Duan Yu's next words poured cold water on netizens and Chen Qiming. I saw many people say that Su Chen miscalculated and eliminated 2 people, and 3 great gods were sent to catch him. But just now, when I was backstage and Su Chen's identity was exposed, I was also thinking about how big the gap between me and him is. I'm afraid it's more than a little bit. Everyone might as well think about it. Su Chen is such a smart and calculating person. When he committed the crime, couldn't he think of the consequences? As soon as these words came out, not only netizens, but also Mr. Guangchuan beside Duan Yu fell into deep thought. Yes, how could Su Chen not think of what they could think of? Teacher Guangchuan asked hurriedly. Officer Duan, do you think Su Chen's purpose is? Officer Duan pondered for 2 seconds and sighed. I can't really guess his thoughts, but I can guess that maybe this guy feels that the configuration of the expert group is not enough. So, he will eliminate us and force the program team to let more powerful and more people in. This sentence made the audience present calm down from excitement. In other words, Su Chen is actively looking for a strong opponent. He is eager to compete with stronger people, so he eliminated the members of the transfer group in advance, with the purpose of attracting the attention of the program team and arousing the desire of those world-famous detective organizations to catch him. He wants to compete with stronger people. Thinking about it this way, this man is a bit scary. Finally, Duan Yu set his eyes on Su Chen's live broadcast room, looked at him, and whispered. I hope that these people who are more powerful than me can help us catch Su Chen. Friends, now it's the second volume, and I have a plan, 3 updates a day, increase the update volume, is it bold? Seeing that everyone is urging me, I decided to sacrifice my life to break through and enter the realm of 3 updates. As long as everyone urges me to update more and keeps reading, I will keep updating 3 times. I hope the rating of this book can be better. Please give a good review. Oh, friends, don't forget to add the bookshelf. I will remind you when there is an update. Chapter 63, Uesugi Aki's debut, Yong and Luoji appear. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 63, Uesugi Aki's debut, Yong and Luoji appear. Meanwhile, the panel office, after Su Chen's video playback was completed, everyone's expressions were very exciting. It can be said that this condensed content of just over an hour has completely subverted their understanding of Su Chen since the show began. It turns out he did it all alone. Qin Ming stared at the screen, shocked. Even now, he can't imagine how Su Chen was able to take advantage of the time difference and gaps to commit crimes while dealing with the expert team, simply a master of time management. At present, the expert team suffered heavy casualties, and Su Chen had already escaped. Even the 3 top criminal investigators felt at a loss. We use police dogs. Wang Yanqing said. Su Chen has stayed here for such a long time, and his scent must have spread throughout the room. We should be able to find Su Chen's exact traces by using the police dog's sense of smell and cooperating with the Skynet identification system. Smell is also one of the important traces of the scene. As a trace expert, Wang Yanqing has trained several pet dogs under his command and has made great achievements in combat, potatoes and beef stew every day, eating better than himself. Sorry, Officer Wang. Qin Ming bowed. Having lost the backbone of Mr. Cui Liwan, they now urgently need to take action and reorganize the team. In full view of everyone, Wang Yanqing pulled out the necklace from his clothes. At the end of the necklace hangs a bone flute as thick as a thumb. He put the bone flute between his lips and played it. Then, a clear sound came out from it, endlessly. Dula dula dula. Not long after the sound of the bone flute came out, in the corridor outside the expert team's door, there were bursts of noisy barking. Woof woof woof. Well-trained police dogs arrived immediately, skillfully opened the office door handle and formed a row at the door. These police dogs are all specially trained and selected from thousands of people. They are smart and can understand human speech. The probability of them biting someone casually is lower than that of humans. Sniff. Wang Yanqing pointed to the place where Su Chen sat and issued an order. Before he finished speaking, 3 police dogs rushed out like sharp arrows. A smile appeared on Wang Yanqing's face. He was not very good at socializing, but he liked to deal with animals. These pet dogs are his most capable assistants. When handling a case before, they tracked a murderer all the way to the hiding place through the smell on the door handle that he touched. There must be a lot of smell left on the seat cushion where Su Chen Saturday. However, what he didn't expect was, the police dogs just asked where Su Chen had been sitting, and immediately let out a whimper and jumped away. Some opened their mouths wide, and some even covered their noses with their front paws, looking ridiculous. They gathered around 1 meter away from Su Chen's seat, circling and unable to get closer. The sudden change surprised experts. There's a problem. Wang Yanqing's expression changed. At this moment, a girl's sweet voice suddenly came from outside the door. Of course there is a problem. Su Chen is not stupid enough not to deal with his own smell. As soon as this statement came out, the three experts looked at each other. I saw a girl who looked 16 or 17 years old and wore small leather shoes and had a ji chia hairstyle, standing at the door. The girl stood with her arms crossed. She was petite and probably less than 1.6 meters tall. There was a touch of arrogance on her originally well-behaved face. "Are you Uesugi Aki?" Qin Ming was stunned for a moment, and then he recognized the person in front of him. He was the newcomer king in the Asian detective world last year, currently among the top 30 Asian detectives. The appearance of Uesugi Aki also aroused heated discussions among netizens in the live broadcast room. "Hey, who is this Sakura girl? She speaks Chinese quite well. Brother, you probably don't know much about the detective world, but this girl is very famous." The experience of Caritas Uesugi can be described as a child prodigy. "I heard that she loved mystery novels since she was a child. She made her debut as a detective at the age of 13. In 3 years, she solved more than a dozen major cases at the Sakura Police Department. This also includes the famous Kanichido Kamigakure incident a year ago." Thus he gained a reputation in the detective world, received an invitation from Kaneda Detective Agency, and became the youngest super senior member in its history. "Oh my god, I am 13 years old. This is really someone else's child. When I was 13 years old, I just entered junior high school." In the expert panel office. "Hello, seniors." Uesugi Aki stood up straight and bowed politely towards the three experts. Then, she walked straight to Su Chen's seat, fanned the wind with her hand and took a sniff. "A faint fragrance hits your nose. Toluene disocyanate," she said with certainty. "This is an aromatic organic compound, which is only a negligible fragrance to humans. However, for dogs with a sensitive sense of smell, it is an olfactory killer. Once too much is inhaled, it may even cause dogs to temporarily lose their sense of smell. It seems that Su Chen hopes to use this chemical agent to avoid tracking by police dogs. What a uncanny opponent. Uncanny workmanship." The people present were stunned. What she wanted to say was that she was full of tricks, right? Wang Yanqing, who was standing by, quickly stopped his police dogs and called them back to his side. One dog rewarded him with a sausage. He stroked the neck of his beloved dog and said in a deep voice, "It seems that the police dog trick will not work well in the future." And Uesugi Aki's opening performance also impressed the audience. Damn, this girl is really something. She must be very familiar with this kind of chemicals to be able to smell the smell directly with the floating smell method. I have watched 200 episodes of Conan, and I only know that cyanide smells like bitter almonds. I have never heard of benzene or fat, but she doesn't seem to have learned Chinese very well. At least, I can use idioms better than her, ha ha ha. Su Chen really has attracted the top 30 Asian detectives. While the audience was talking about it, 2 more people appeared at the door of the expert group meeting room. A fat man with a face full of flesh, wearing a worn leather vest, looked like someone who was not easy to mess with. Another one was a young man with a chicken coop hair, who looked like he hadn't woken up yet, and was sitting in an electric wheelchair at the moment. Yong, and Luo Ji. When the two met at the door, they were both stunned when they saw each other. "The King of Heaven covers the earth and the tiger?" Yong asked tentatively. "The pagoda suppresses the river monster." The chicken coop hair man was stunned and answered subconsciously. "Why is your face red?" "I'm anxious because I can't find a wife." "Why is it yellow again?" "I'm scared because I married a tigress." "Fuck, brother Luo." Big sure. After the secret signal, the two hugged each other immediately. Yong patted Luo Ji on the shoulder and said with a smile, "Brother Luo, I didn't expect that we could meet here again. I thought you would stay in your brother's office for the rest of your life." Luo Ji scratched his hair and looked up at the sky with a sigh. To be honest, this time we met again, I felt like I had spent several centuries. Everyone, Uesugi Aki looked at the two people who were making trouble in front of her and looked at the ceiling helplessly, muttered in Sakura language. Why do I have to team up with these childish adults? Chapter 64 Dashi's speculation, Su Chen's purpose revealed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 64, The Great Historian's Speculation, Su Chen's purpose is exposed. TSK, I didn't expect that Luoji looked like this. Xinghan's genius, I thought he would be that kind of gentle scum. The dream is broken, the dream is broken. Officer sure has gained weight, but he looks quite fierce. The audience commented sparsely. Luoji, after hearing Uesugi Aki's words keenly, couldn't help but smile and responded in Sakura language. A man is a boy until he dies. Uesugi Ming, I didn't expect that the other party could understand her words, and she couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. I checked your information before coming here. It turns out that you can also speak Sakura Mandarin. Luoji shrugged. I didn't know how to do it before, but I learned it on my mobile phone for 2 hours on the train, and now I'm almost good at talking. 2 hours. Thinking that she had spent 6 months learning Chinese and was still not very good at it, Uesugi Aki felt a little doubtful about life. I had long heard that Luoji had a high IQ, but I had never had an intuitive idea. That fluttering sentence just now is enough to show how abnormal the other party's learning ability is. The barrage also said that he was sent to Versailles. Holy shit. I learned a foreign language in 2 hours. Is this horse riding a human? I'm about to take the English test. Please, Teacher Luo, please lend me your brain. Seriously, I don't need 2 hours. Just ask me to be stupid. In 8 hours, with this kind of learning ability, wouldn't it be easy to pass the Qingbei exam? Teacher Luo is a professor from Qingbei, although it is a water class. Faced with all this, Yong just smiled and said nothing. He pointed at the electric wheelchair Luoji was sitting on and raised his eyebrows. Brother Luo, come to think of it, what's wrong with your legs? Why are you in a wheelchair and paralyzed? No, great history. Luoji skillfully controlled the electric wheelchair, moved to the sofa in the expert team's office, and continued to paralyze. Just so I don't have to walk, it saves me some trouble and I'm not tired. Upon hearing this, the great historian had an expression just as expected of you. Everyone, good guy, is there anyone more salty than this? Maid, although I can't stand it, I can't kill him. To be honest, with Luoji's IQ, he might find this world boring. Tired. He went to Qingbei easily, became a professor easily, and obtained Xinghan's top membership qualification easily. He didn't get in through a trust relationship, it was pure strength. So far, Xinghan has the highest membership test. The score is still Luoji. Furthermore, this guy is still a monster who controls points. He has been ranked 100 on the Asian detective list. He is one short of being removed from the list. Yes, every time he was pushed down, he would go out to solve a case, and within 3 to 5 days his ranking would rise again. I'm very worried about Su Chen. There are so many new monsters in the expert team this time. How can he run away? Qin Ming, on the other hand, looked at the new members who had great strength. The self-confidence that had just been defeated by Su Chen gradually returned. This time, maybe we can catch that, Su Chen. Skynet. Trace expert Wang Yanqing cheered up and said to Officer Duan, Skynet system, a relic of the previous dynasty. Recognize Su Chen's facial information and search it across the city. Inquiry, ding, the target is suspected of driving, the image is blurry. A total of 11,283 similar targets were found, more than 10,000. Qin Ming's heart sank when he heard Tianwang's answer. It should be that there is too little light in the middle of the night, the line of sight is poor, and the pixels of the camera make it impossible for facial recognition to accurately determine the object. Officer Wang, how long will it take you to identify these pictures? Qin Ming asked Wang Yanqing. Wang Yanqing lowered his head and thought for a second or two. The difficulty of distinguishing blurry images and clear images is not of the same order of magnitude. My next brain challenge project is fuzzy sand painting. Even a top player like him in the world took more than 3 hours to identify 10,000 sand paintings. When Qin Ming heard this, his expression became even more ugly. Identifying too many targets will consume a lot of time, and we cannot waste so much time. In this way, our expert team now has 6 people. Let's all come together, maybe. Wait a moment. And at this time, Dashi walked over slowly, raised his hand and said, "Sorry to interrupt, your train of thought is wrong." Wrong idea? Qin Ming was stunned, but Skynet was the most convenient tool for them to find Su Chen. It is also the most efficient way. "Officer Shi, what do you say?" Wang Yanqing asked. Dashi took out a cigarette from his pocket, lit it and took a puff, then said, "When we fought in the past, when we discussed tactics, it was never about what we should do, but always about what the other side would do and how we should respond. The same goes for detectives. You have always put yourself in the position of the pursuer, but you have never put yourself in Su Chen's shoes." Buzz. As soon as these words came out, Qin Ming felt a numbness in his head. It seems that a very key point has been captured, but it is not clear yet. He hadn't fully understood what Yong meant. Yong didn't continue, but asked a question. "Everyone, you said that Su Chen had solved a major unsolved case and perfectly fooled the expert team once. His performance was already perfect. But he chose to continue to flee. I ask you, what kind of person would flee? Why?" Several people fell into silence. This sounded like a non-issue, but why did Yong ask this? Without waiting for them to speak, Luoji, who was lying on the sofa, suddenly grinned and interrupted. Because his expectations have not been met, he has his own desires. A person who has no desire for the future will not choose to flee. A person who feels that he has more important things to do will choose to flee. Yes, Dashi pointed at Luoji with his cigarette in his hand. If you know Su Chen's purpose, you can locate his route. Officer Bai, I remember that Su Chen called you before. Bai Su was stunned, then nodded. He asked me, whether the captured female prisoner had a scar on her neck. That's right. Dashi put out his cigarette, propped his hand on the table, and looked around at the people in front of him. Su Chen had not been exposed at the time, but he knew that he was already a fugitive on the run. And a prisoner on the run, logically speaking, would not risk calling the expert who captured him, unless he urgently and must know about it. His purpose must be related to the scar. Everyone, is that okay? Chapter 65. Now that things have come to this, let's go to sleep first. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 65. Now that things have come to this, let's go to sleep first. After Dashi's reminder, Qin Ming suddenly felt that the last bit of blockage in his heart was cleared in an instant. Scar, cut throat. This kind of scar is very similar to the platinum case. He whispered, and Uesugi Aki's fingertips were already sliding on the tablet in her hand. After just a dozen seconds, her eyes lit up and she put the tablet on the table. Found it. Although I am not very familiar with your Longwa cases, I am still familiar with big unsolved cases like the platinum case. I took notes. Except for Luoji, who was lying on the sofa, the other members of the expert group came over and looked at the case carefully. There are actually some doubts in the platinum case. For example, the murderer did not continue to commit crimes after killing 4 girls. Why did he stop? Qin Ming recalled the details of the case in his mind while reading it. The platinum case, the largest unsolved case in Longwa, the murderer only killed 4 people and then disappeared, which was definitely a good thing for the panicked girls at the time. However, it was precisely because the murderer disappeared for no reason that the police's clues were interrupted. This case has never been solved. Regarding this, I noticed a little detail of the case and have a guess. Uesugi Aki opened her notebook, pointed to the text on it, and explained to the experts around her who did not understand Sakura. After the 4th death, a few days later, there was a report that residents found a stain on the ground, which was identified as a trace of blood. I think this is the 5th victim. As soon as this conclusion came out, the experts felt their heads buzzing. Yong reacted very quickly. He didn't kill successfully, so the fifth victim is very obvious, it's that woman. This inference is to give a final chapter to this series of clues. It connects them all together. The audience who stayed up late to watch just felt their scalps tingling. Many strong men and women quietly retracted their feet that were stretched out of the quilt. Fuck, it's late at night, can't we sleep? I didn't expect that the Bai Jin case and the Jinling dismemberment case have such a relationship. It seems that all the previous doubts have been cleared up. The world of geniuses, the thinking of the big guys is really hard to figure out. I guess I am still confused even if I become an expert. This Dashi is also a bit of a talent. At the beginning, I thought he was the kind of brainless strong man, but now I find that this person's mind is so meticulous. This live broadcast of chasing murderers is really wonderful, it can be enshrined as a god. And in the expert group office, hearing Dashi's conclusion, Wang Yanqing's pupils suddenly shrank. He hurriedly said to the police standing behind him. Quick, go find the police officer responsible for investigating Zhao Xiaoye's social relations and ask what the results are. Emphasis on asking what is her relationship with the Bai Jin case. This command was very urgent. The responsible police officer did not dare to delay, nodded, and ran out of the office. Less than 10 minutes later, the police officer ran over breathlessly, accompanied by the police officer in charge of the investigation. Are you also investigating the relationship between Zhao Xiaoye and the Bai Jin case? The progress is not slower than ours, the police officer in charge of the investigation said in surprise. The information just obtained shows that, in fact, Zhao Xiaoye is the fifth victim of the Bai Jin case who escaped by luck. Hearing this, a group of experts felt their scalps tingling, not only because Yong and Uesugi Aki relied on reasoning to come up with the latest news received by the police. It was also because of Su Chen. They realized that Su Chen had already deduced this information. Otherwise, he would not have been able to accurately ask the question, is there a scar, without having seen Zhao Xiaoye. Is this the strength of the top 30 Asian detectives? Then, the matter is clear. In full view of everyone, Dashi took out an old green kettle that would only be used on the battlefield from his pocket and gulped down a few mouthfuls of water. This kettle was made more than a decade ago, and the paint has fallen off by more than half. If it is put into use now, it may not pass the bacterial test. However, Dashi didn't care at all, and the attention of other experts was also focused on the second half of his sentence. Su Chen has long known about the relationship between Zhao Xiaoye and the Bai Jin case, and he wants to investigate the Bai Jin case. Therefore, we should focus on the road from Jinling City to Bai Jin City, as well as the bordering border, which is a must-go for Su Chen. Qin Ming couldn't wait any longer. He quickly said to the Skynet system. Narrow the scope of identification to the south of Jinling City, until it borders Bai Jin City. Adjusting. A total of 1,127 similar targets were found. Very quickly, a series of pictures were crawled by the Skynet system and put on the big screen in the expert group office. It took us less than 20 minutes to reduce the original more than 10,000 to more than 1,000. Yong turned his head and looked at Wang Yanqing. Brother, how long will it take to get it done? Give me an approximate number. Wang Yanqing held Su Chen's photo, and under his police hat, two dark eyes shot at the small pictures that filled the screen. Like a scanner, he looked through them row by row, without stopping at all. 20 minutes at most. He said lightly. Okay. Dashi made a gesture of applause, then, with his hands behind his back, he walked back to another sofa in the expert group office. He lay down and took off his leather jacket to cover himself. His movements were exactly the same as Luo Ji's. Everyone instantly had an ominous premonition. Officer Shi, what are you doing? I've finished talking about everything. Yong yawned, resting his head on the soft pillow of the leather sofa, and said. Being an opponent of Su Chen is a very brain-consuming thing. How can you not rest well? It's 3 o'clock in the morning, brothers. We have finished the reasoning, and I will not participate in the remaining operations. You first send people to block the border of Platinum City, and then track Su Chen's whereabouts. At worst, we can take turns and fight him to death. As he said, He turned over and fell asleep in almost 3 seconds. Everyone, the audience was also confused. Damn, we haven't slept yet, why did you fall asleep first? Sleeping on the live broadcast? However, why do I feel that what he said makes sense? Indeed, this kind of brain-burning confrontation must stay awake. Lack of sleep, fuzzy thinking, it is really easy to make mistakes. When playing against someone of Su Chen's level, any insignificant mistake could be fatal. Because he will seize your negligence and use all possible means to magnify the consequences of your mistakes. And at the expert group, Qin Ming and others looked at Luo Ji, who was playing badly, with dark circles under their eyes. It's too late. Let's talk about it tomorrow. It doesn't matter if we catch Su Chen a day earlier or later. Anyway, we will catch him. Luo Ji lay down in front of everyone without any burden. It's over now. Let's go to sleep first. Luo Ji went into hibernation. Everyone, looking at these two unreliable adults, Uesugi Aki aside, and then a blazing fighting spirit burned in her eyes. She didn't need help, she could catch that Su Chen by herself. Tomorrow, she would end this game before these two people woke up. She would bring Su Chen to Dashi and Luo Ji to see how they would react. Time is precious. I am the highest ranked detective among us. I hope you can give me a chance and trust me, and let me be responsible for the next operation of capturing Su Chen. Uesugi Mingai said to the remaining experts in a confident and unquestionable tone. Catch Su Chen tonight, we will eat anything. Qin Ming, Bai Su, and Wang Yanqing looked at each other. What she wanted to say should be that the opportunity should not be missed. Half an hour later, in the suburbs of Jinling City, in a black car, Su Chen finally woke up slowly with the roar of a big beast. Chapter 66. The keyhole emerges, and the curtain opens. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 66. The keyhole emerges and the scene begins. I slept for more than 2 hours. The first time Su Chen got up, he looked at his watch. He couldn't rest here for too long, so he could only recover as much as possible. No matter how chaotic the expert team was, 2 hours was enough for them to regroup. He is now considering whether to adjust his sleeping habits. Instead of using the original large chunks of sleep time, use the Da Vinci method of sleeping, which spreads the sleep time into small chunks throughout 24 hours. Now my reputation should have reached 10,000, and I have entered the top 10 on the list of detectives. While thinking, Su Chen closed his eyes and skillfully entered the room in his mind. The new scene wall may have been opened. Soon, as the scenery in front of him gradually disappeared, Su Chen once again caught a glimpse of the interior of the quaint room in the chaos. In the room, on the solid wood desk, the flickering light seemed to never go out, and where the orange flame shrouded the darkness in the corner of the room, it had quietly dissipated. Last time, the darkness receded and what was revealed was the star map. This time, it was a stone wall. There are 4 grooves on the wall, and the hollows reveal a complex mortise and tenon structure, which looks like some kind of mechanism, and those 4 grooves are like 4 keyholes. Interesting. Su Chen took a step forward, walked to the wall, and looked at it carefully. Then, they discovered that there were 4 wooden plaques hanging under the groove, with 3-point brushstrokes penetrating into the wood. They read respectively, Beast Title Order, Iron-Faced Judge's Pen, Xia Pattern Gavel Wood, Flat-Winged Velvet Shaft Hat. Correspondingly, the first groove has a square shape and is exactly the same as the token on the desk in the room. The second groove is slender like a pen barrel. The third and fourth grooves also correspond to the shapes of the items on the wooden sign. Do you want me to collect these things? Su Chen lifted up the token on the table, gestured at the first groove, and found that it fit perfectly. He thought for a moment, pushed the token in, and heard a click from inside, followed by the sound of the machine rotating. However, after waiting for a long time, no changes were seen. Su Chen went up to take the token, but found that he couldn't take it off. Wipe. How can I see my reputation if I can't get it anymore? He cursed in his mind that he was too anxious and started to do it before he had studied it thoroughly. At the same time, he quickly searched the entire wall with his hands, looking for a solution. Fortunately, I found the swing bracket under the wooden sign. After twisting it, I heard another click. At the same time, the token was spit out by the groove and fell into Su Chen's hand. He stood up, glanced at the 4 grooves, and thought to himself. This is equivalent to a keyhole. I have to gather these 4 things and put them in together. Maybe something will change. He thought about the ancient pen that he had found on the internet before and was living in the Sakura country, and his heart sank. It seems that these things are inevitably scattered all over the world. If you want to collect them all, you have to work hard. After studying for a while, Su Chen took the token and walked towards the star map. He can now clearly feel that his connection with the star map is getting closer and closer. In the past, I had to go up and explore to find out the state of the relief, but now, he can directly feel that there is another relief to light up. Sure enough, the cinnabar on the token scattered and reunited. The public's current reputation estimate, 10,400 eyes. Yes, the number of online views has probably broken a record. Standing in front of the star map, Su Chen nodded. Immediately, his fingertips gently touched a star relief on it. In an instant, light patterns flickered and the image extended. It was an ancient masterpiece, a pattern of a gentleman on a beam. There is a thief, flying over the eaves and walking over the walls, hanging beams around the house. There are poems to prove it. The bones are soft and the body is strong, the eyebrows are thick and the eyes are bright. The description is like a strange tribe, walking like a flying fairy, walking through the wall in the quiet night, hanging deeper in the high house. What it says is, there once was a thief who specialized in climbing over walls and breaking into homes. He was agile and had a sharp ear and eyesight. This person can run on extremely high beams as if walking on flat ground. He can also hold the eaves of the roof with his hands, lift his whole body up, and move quickly. His skills are higher than those of apes. His body is soft and can pass through narrow gaps, but he is also very strong and has great physical strength, which is beyond the reach of ordinary people. This person is not afraid of the government. Even if he is caught, he can find countless ways to escape. Even if he is tied with a rope, he can untie himself. Later, he was caught by the iron-masked man and his whereabouts are unknown. There were rumors that after the iron-faced duke caught him, he did not punish him immediately, but asked him to get something. But this time, the invincible thief failed and lost his life. The text introduction ends here. Su Chen only felt a burning sensation stirring from his body, torso and limbs. And even his eyes felt slightly hot. It's not uncomfortable, but it feels like being in a sauna. This feeling lasted for more than 10 seconds and then receded like a tide. Then, Su Chen opened his eyes again and felt that the scenery around him was extremely clear. He was originally a little short-sighted because he was working on files all year round, and his vision was slightly blurry, but now, it seems that this myopia has been erased, and the entire world has changed from 360p to 24K HD. My current eyesight is probably no less than that of the best pilots. Su Chen said happily. In his feelings, the changes in vision were only part of it, and there were also physical changes, strong balance ability, flexible limbs, solid strength and endurance, and extremely pure skills. These were all the improvements he could truly feel in those short 10 seconds. At the same time, the lighting conditions for the next star naturally come into mind. 13,000 mesh required. This time it's easier than before. That's what it says. Su Chen was not so relaxed, because he knew that the number of viewers in Long Kingdom had reached the ceiling. As for the Sakura Country channel that will be launched, the total population of Sakura Country is too small. It is not easy to reach this number. He had to find a quick way. Su Chen retreated from the quaint room and returned to reality. I eliminated 2 people. It is impossible for the program team to directly let the remnants of the expert team continue to hunt. Su Chen thought secretly. They will add people, and among the new people, there may be opponents that are difficult to deal with. There will be players at the top of the list of detectives, and it's not impossible for them to be from other countries. If you want to increase the number of views, you may have to start with the new detective. If you can win, it will definitely cause a worldwide sensation. Then maybe other countries will open channels here to help increase the number of online views in his live broadcast room. On the other hand, there is the current platinum case. Su Chen knew that because of the solution to the corpse dismemberment case at Jinling University, he was now ranked 10th among the Dragon Kingdom detectives, and his ranking was already very high. The people in front of him are all detectives with profound experience. It is not easy to surpass them in a short time, unless, the platinum case is solved. This will also bring great buzz to yourself and enhance your reputation, and more importantly, this also means that he may get closer to the world and the secrets of the room in his head. If he wants to study the Baijin case, he must first arrive at Baijin City, which is adjacent to Jinling City. While thinking, Su Chen's eyes suddenly glanced out the car window calmly. The night was very dark and the other party was very careful. It would have been impossible for him to notice it before, however, now, with high-definition vision, Su Chen faintly observed that in the darkness, there was a group of people preparing to move towards him, not a panel. They couldn't be that stupid. Su Chen made a judgment immediately, judging from the tools in their hands, the shabby clothes on their bodies, and the van parked not far away. This seems to be a group of car thieves operating on the edge of the city. They saw Su Chen's mid-range black car parked alone on the outskirts of the city, and they became evil-minded. Chapter 67 Who Stole Whom? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 67 Who Stole Whom? In the night, the group of car thieves all wore black sun visors. They sneaked towards the car parked in front of them. Taiwan Novel Network. Suddenly, the leader stopped the accomplices behind him, and whispered, "Boy, look, is this car occupied or empty?" Next to the leader of the car thieves, a young man as thin as a monkey took out a black tube-shaped object from his pocket and stuck it to his eye. It was a crude night vision goggle. The second child held up the night vision goggles and looked into the car window with a stern look. After looking for a while, he suddenly smiled. "There's no one inside, boss. It's a fat fish this time." The boss at the head nodded slightly, took the toolbox handed over by the person behind him, and said, "If I'm to blame, it's because the car owner is stupid. I think this car is 90% new, but he dared to park it in a place like this in the middle of the night. If brothers don't accept this windfall, it would be unreasonable and unjust." As soon as he said this, several thieves behind him all smiled in unison. The owner of this car is also a stupid man with stupid blessings. Call him stupid, he can still afford to drive such a good car. Why do fools have so much money? The second child rubbed his hands in disgust. This car is a mid-range car no matter how you look at it. If you negotiate the price, you can sell it for 100,000 or 80,000 yuan, which is enough for you to play with your friends and kids for a few months. Okay, stop talking when you get close, and do it now. The boss gave the order. The group of thieves quietly walked around from behind. Two of them stood guard and one of them took action. There is another person who is on the side and adapts to the situation. If he sees the car owner coming back, he is usually responsible for going up and asking for directions or something, distracting the other person's attention and delaying time. This group of people can be said to have a clear division of labor. The boss touched the door of the cab, opened the toolbox, and took out a small diamond glass knife. He pressed the small cutting knife against the glass of the cab, made a circular mark, and then struck the center of the circle with the wooden handle. There was only a pop sound, and a small round glass piece was knocked off the glass. "Bring me the pole," the boss whispered. "Okay." The second person stretched out a threefold iron rod from behind his buttocks, with iron wires connecting it, like a simplified arm, very flexible. The boss took the iron pole and stretched it into the glass hole. After just tinkering with it for a few seconds, he heard the sound of the car lock being unlocked. He pulled the handle and the door opened easily. The two car thieves looked inside and found that no one was there. They breathed a sigh of relief and said happily, "Brother will keep the money delivered to your door for you." Then, the two climbed into the cab and began to remove the igniter. This car is ignited by turning the key. As long as the key port can be removed, directly over the lock, and the relay wire is connected, the ignition can be started directly. Then, this group of thieves could drive away in a car, sell it to a black shop for a good price. A few people are already quite familiar with this set of business processes. There is no need to say anything more. They are familiar with it. However, just as the boss pulled out the lock, he was about to light it on fire. Suddenly, I heard the sound of a car engine in the dark night. Then, two headlights swept across, and a van emerged from the lights. It turned with its tires grinding on the ground and rushed past them with a push of the accelerator. "Isn't this horse, our van? Why did you drive away so suddenly?" The two thieves were instantly confused. Then, they saw their accomplices who were on guard duty and ran over in a hurry, crying. "Brother, second brother, our car has been stolen." Boom. When the two car thieves heard this, they were stunned for 2 seconds as if they had been struck by lightning. "Tama, we are car thieves, but our car was stolen. If this spreads to the industry, my peers will laugh to death." The leader's eldest brother was immediately filled with anger and blood. He pointed at the noses of his two accomplices and shouted. "Third and fourth, I'll ride on my horse and let you stand guard. Are your eyes just decorations? So a big car ran away right under your nose?" Hearing this scolding, the third and fourth children were extremely aggrieved. "Brother, you don't know what happened just now," the third child said out of breath. "At that time, there was a man walking towards us. He looked like the owner of the car, so we hurried up to talk to him. We were just chatting for a while. While chatting, he secretly moved toward our van. Both of our attention was focused on the car and the man. We were afraid that he would notice our actions. How could we have imagined that he was trying to catch our car's attention?" "Yes, yes," the fourth child also hurriedly came up to help and add fuel to the fire. "And we must have met a master this time. I was half a meter away from that kid, but when I touched my pocket, the car keys were gone. I don't even know when he stole our car keys. I don't feel anything at all." After hearing this, the boss felt dizzy. You still have the nerve to say." He had been stealing cars for more than 10 years and had been in trouble 2 or 3 times, but he had never encountered anything like this. Although his minivan is not worth much, but this is not about money, it is about dignity. It is about the self-esteem of a craftsman. "I will beat you to death." Brother, forget it, forget it." The second brother saw that the eldest brother was angry, and hurried over to smooth things over. "Brother, think about it, our car is worth exchanging for a broken minivan. Let's drive this car away quickly and sell it for a good price," the second brother said, winking at the third and fourth brothers. The two people understood and nodded quickly. "You are right, brother, this time it is ours, we don't want the money from the sale of the car. Let's do it quickly and make up for the loss." The eldest brother, after holding it in for a few seconds, he finally sighed and ignored the two people's smiles. After tinkering with it for a while, the car ignited successfully with a buzzing sound. Let's go quickly. We can't stay here for long. There are dirty things here. Damn. The 5 car thieves squeezed into the car uncomfortably, then, they ran away in a flash. At the same time, on the road in the suburbs, a van sped past. The person sitting in the car was Su Chen. "It saved me some trouble. I was just worried about how to get rid of the car and change the means of transportation." Su Chen said to himself. "The expert team will probably act very quickly. I hope those car thieves can run away." In the live broadcast room, the barrage of comments was already laughing like crazy. Chapter 68 Su Chen's next plan, the expert team searches for him. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 68, Su Chen's next plan, the expert team will track it down. You show off my Su Chen so well. I will probably never forget the confused expressions of those car thieves in this life. I have already taken the screenshot, and in 3 minutes, the fresh emoticon package will be released immediately. Really, you dare to steal things compared with me, brother Su? Isn't this just a trick? Have you noticed that when Su Chen snatched the car just now, his movements were so nimble that the two people didn't react at all? Indeed, the door of the bread truck was closed at that time. Su Chen actually jumped in and got in through the window of the car. It was so silky that I was stunned when I saw it. Speaking of which, why did Su Chen let those car thieves drive away the car? I checked and found that the car was worth hundreds of thousands online. It was a bit of a loss. He must have his own plans. Anyway, I don't think Su Chen will suffer. Su Chen drove the van on the outermost route on the edge of Jinling City, facing Baijin City. he looked around and saw a few police cars parked at the city's border and at almost every intersection leading to Platinum City. Many police officers stood beside the cars and checked the driver's license of each car owner very carefully. It seems that the expert team has stepped up the blockade. Su Chen thought for a moment and did not try to break through the checkpoint. Instead, he turned the car around and continued driving around. How to get there? Is it disguised or hiding something from the truth? But he didn't have time to forge a driver's license, and he had no toiletries or clothes on hand. What if it's a ride? Su Chen thought to himself, no. Although Mr. Cui Liwan has been eliminated now, his reward order is probably online. It didn't take much to figure out how great the reward for catching him would be. His current situation is that he is cheering on the internet, but in reality everyone is watching closely and trying to catch him. I have to find a place where I can at least disguise myself. Su Chen's brain was running rapidly, and he excluded locations one by one. Then, a certain scene suddenly flashed through his mind, making his eyes light up. When I was at Jinling University, I was chatting with Wang Ping and Zhao Long in the car. Zhao Long once said that he went to watch a movie with his daughter during the holidays, but this place to watch movies is not in a cinema, but in a tourist estate built on the outskirts of the city, according to Zhao Long, in addition to movies. There are also amusement facilities and even a touring circus. However, they were too pressed for time and could not have a good time. Thinking of this, Su Chen laughed silently. The circus is a great place. There is no shortage of makeup or costumes. And, because of the mobile nature of the circus, if I'm lucky, I might even be able to catch a ride. Make up your mind. Su Chen roughly identified the direction, and then turned the car around on the side of the road, heading towards the resort estate. Switch between live broadcasts. On the other side, the edge of Jinling City, there were also several black cars speeding down the road. The car in the lead was driven by Wang Yanqing, and the passenger was Karita Uesugi. Those in the back row were naturally Qin Ming and Bai Su. The car following behind was carrying the police force of experts. Senior, you are simply an observing immortal. You are the Empire's sky-eyed tiger. Uesugi Mingai is holding the tablet in her hand and seems to be in a good mood, she said in a calm voice. It only took 15 minutes to read more than 1,000 blurry photos and find Su Chen's face. Of course, Senior, don't think I'm praising you. I'm just stating the facts. Wang Yanqing was quite calm about this compliment. He stared at the road ahead carefully and replied. Unless I can't find it, as long as I find it, it can't be wrong. Then, Senior, please pay more attention to Su Chen's car. Your eyes are sharper than mine. Uesugi Mingai sat up straight. Or, when we are close enough to Su Chen, I can directly locate Su Chen's mobile phone signal through the two internet police officers under Officer Duan. It has to be said that the speed of action of the expert team far exceeded the expectations of netizens. Oh my god, that's a bit fast, Officer Wang. Sure enough, the winner with the strongest brain is the one with the ability, not the script. The performance of this little girl named Uesugi Mingai also exceeded expectations. Although she is the youngest, she can effectively mobilize the talents of the expert team, and she feels like a little adult. Yes, both organizational and action capabilities can be said to be top-notch. Oh, it would be great if I had this kind of mobility. Every winter and summer vacation homework, I always leave it to the last day to complete it. It doesn't matter, brother, me too, one night, one pen, one miracle. I wonder how Su Chen should deal with the pursuit of the enhanced expert team after his identity is exposed. Soon, the expert team's car drove to the place where Su Chen was last found, on the outskirts of the city. In Uesugi Karita's hand, a red dot also lit up on the tablet connected to the signal detector. Found it. Uesugi Mingai showed a faint smile. Senior, please drive southwest. I think Su Chen will meet us soon. Point 3 more chapters are here. Friends, don't forget to click on the reminder after reading. Don't worry about adding it to the bookshelf. There is a plan for the rest of this book. It won't end badly or be abandoned. Chapter 69. What on earth have I done wrong? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 69. What on earth have I committed? Wang Yanqing nodded, turned the steering wheel half a circle, and drove the car into the side road. The co-pilot, Karita Uesugi, had already called up the road map of this area. We are directly pursuing Su Chen's car on this main road. She shook her hair, picked up the walkie-talkie and said, Writing this, I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network. Car number 2 and car number 3 behind us are running parallel to us on the left and right branch roads. Car number 4 speeds up and returns to the front. We have to block all of Su Chen's escape routes and force him to stop. Now enable map and location sharing. After forming the formation, all cars will keep their relative positions unchanged, and there will be no loopholes. Soon, replies from the co-pilots of other vehicles came over the intercom. Received on the 2nd. Received on the 3rd. Received on the 4th. At the same time, for black cars that were traveling in parallel on the same lane immediately parted ways, they are distributed around the red dot, forming a flanking situation. Very good. Uesugi Mingai looked at the few small spots of light inside the location sharing and pursed her lips. Su Chen, you can't run away this time. But now it is morning and the sun is shining brightly. There were a lot more barrages in the Murder Chase live broadcast room than in the early morning. However, compared to the passionate painting style of the expert group, the barrage is a different scene. Sister Shangshan, let's just say. Is it possible that you are chasing the wrong car? Shocked, 4 police cars rounded up the car thief. In this scene, I thought it was some kind of speeding robber on the other side. The little girl is quite skilled in using outflanking tactics, ha 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 ha. Speaking of which, why do I feel like there are 2 less people in the expert team? Above, there are 2 more people in the expert team's office, sleeping. Damn it, this young man, Luo Ji, fell asleep. It seems that he completely regarded this program as a game. He may think that catching Su Chen is easy. When the barrage chat was getting heated, Uesugi Akita's car was also slowly approaching the signal detector. Finally, after a turn, a car appeared in their sight. That's it, Su Chen's cell phone signal is located there. Uesugi Mingai immediately ordered. Get started. Before she finished speaking, she saw the car in front of her accelerate suddenly, and Wang Yanqing beside him had already stepped on the accelerator. Boom! In an instant, the roar of the engines of the 2 cars filled the street. Su Chen's reaction was quite quick. Uesugi Mingai was slightly surprised. Generally speaking, normal drivers look at the road conditions and do not immediately react and run when they see a car on the road. It's just a guilty conscience. It must be a guilty conscience. It turned out to be Su Chen, the fugitive. Her fingertips slid on the tablet and she soon found an intersection ahead. There were very few side roads there, and the 4 vehicles she arranged were able to block all the other parties' escape routes. This is a hunting place. How can the fish escape when it is caught in the net? Attention other cars, speed up and outflank the intersection ahead. Uesugi Karatas picked up the walkie-talkie and issued an order. Receive. The light spots in the location sharing immediately closed and she turned her head again and said to Wang Yanqing in the cab. Senior, can you bite a little tighter? No problem. Under the brim of Wang Yanqing's hat, 2 sharp eyes appeared. He had already calculated the route and time. Boom boom. On the road, one was running away desperately, while the other was chasing after him fiercely. The 2 vehicles in front and behind them are very different in configuration because they are both public security vehicles. It's hard to catch up with pure straight-line racing. Who can't give oil in a straight line? Fast corners are really fast, and in front of us is a big turn. Squeak. The car in front of me came to the corner and had to slow down to avoid overturning, and Wang Yanqing knew that success or failure depended on this. Instead, he stepped on the accelerator, turned the steering wheel, and pulled the car's handbrake. This time, the grip is full. The rear of the car instantly slid sideways, throwing the front of the car over the bend. 2 tire marks were wiped out on the ground, white smoke was rising, and the black car had already accelerated and flew away in the dust. Drift. Perfect drift. The distance between the 2 cars was quickly shortened to almost 1 or 2 meters away. For a time, the barrage skyrocketed. Shit, coach, I want to learn this. I knew the instructor had some tricks up his sleeve. Which driving school can I learn this from? I'll sign up now. A handsome man is a handsome man, but he just didn't catch the right person. What? I'm so handsome when drifting, you ask me if I'm chasing the right person. Police Officer Wong, you are deliberately looking for trouble, right? Tremor, in a stolen car. Damn it, boss, they're catching up, and they're really coming for us. The second passenger in the passenger seat beside him screamed in surprise and looked at the leader next to him. In the back of the car, there was the third and fourth child who was shaken to pieces. Mad, I know, please stop making noise. Beads of sweat had already appeared on the boss's head. In the few tens of seconds of being chased, he had thought about all the wrong things he had done in his life. Finally, he came to a conclusion: not that bad, he just stole a few cars, why would someone chase him like an enemy? Moreover, just now through the rearview mirror, he caught a glimpse of the driver, wearing a police hat and police uniform. He was almost scared to death. Second brother, third brother, fourth brother, fifth brother, tell me honestly, have you done anything immoral behind my back recently? The boss's back was wet, and he said tremblingly. Fuck, to be chased by the police like this, no matter how you treat it, you must be a wanted criminal. Who of you did it? Turn yourself in quickly, don't get me involved. As he said that, he also glanced at the second brother who was sly beside him. The second brother felt the look and was immediately frightened. He said, Brother, you know me. I wouldn't dare to do this even if I had 80 courage. The second brother turned around and excitedly pointed at the two people in the back seat who were about to vomit. Hurry up and tell us, or we will be considered as harboring criminals. If we are considered as accomplices, I will not let you go even if I become a ghost. The third, fourth and fifth brothers hurriedly covered their mouths and waved their hands. Second brother, you know us. We don't have the ability to do this at all. If we had this ability, we would have done it ourselves. Bullshit. The eldest brother watched the police car getting closer and closer, and saliva flowed from his eyes. If you are fine, why do the police come after us? Brother, can't I call you brother? I have only committed petty thefts in my life and have never committed any serious crimes. Please let me go. Just when the psychological defenses of several car thieves were about to collapse, an intersection suddenly appeared in front of them. There are 3 forks in the road. The leading car thief was delighted when he saw this. There is always a way out. They are most familiar with this area. They can't outrun the police car on a single road. When they reach the fork in the road, they can definitely get rid of the other party by crossing randomly. However, the next second, on each branch road of the fork in the road, a car that is exactly the same as the car chasing them rushed out. Then, the car door opened, and 3 or 4 plainclothes policemen got out of each car. More than a dozen people surrounded the intersection. The face of the car thief boss turned pale as ash in an instant. Fuck. The car thief had never seen such a big scene. For a moment, he felt that his life was over. The one who could make the police go to such great lengths was definitely not a simple wanted criminal, it must be the kind on the wanted list, and that kind of person should be beaten to a pulp. Crunch. The boss gave up struggling and stopped the car with a brake. He turned around trembling and looked at his brothers. It's over. It's over. Why use a butcher knife to kill a chicken? Chapter 70 Confused Car Thief and Expert Team. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 70, Confused Car Thieves and Expert Team. Expert Team. The car has stopped. Uesugi frowned and said to the intercom. Su Chen should not surrender. Everyone be careful and control him directly. Don't listen to anything he says or respond to him. Catch him first. Okay. The dozen police officers followed the order and stepped forward without any hesitation. The car thief boss had just walked out of the car door and was about to surrender. Before he could raise his hand, he was instantly covered with a big man. 7 or 8 police officers, one hand each, pressed him to the ground. The leading police officer looked at the mask on the face of the man being held down and sneered. Su Chen, the more you try to cover up, the more obvious it becomes. The thief leader. Su Chen. You have the wrong person. I am not Su Chen. You have caught the wrong person, that he suddenly struggled, wanting to cry but unable to, saying that it was just a misunderstanding. However, the big men who were holding him down just sneered after hearing this. Without saying anything, they handcuffed his hands behind his back and gave him a pair of free silver bracelets, the kind that are connected together, after the thief was completely controlled and handcuffed to the ground. Tada! Uesugi Aki's small leather heels knocked on the ground. And she walked to the front of the masked man who was being held down, squatted down, and smiled somewhat proudly. Su Chen, now you know that for me, who is in the top 30 of the detective list, catching a fugitive is a piece of cake. Small. Uesugi Aki turned her head and looked at Wang Yanqing, who was also walking over. Senior, what is the idiom that describes doing this thing very easily? A piece of cake. Wang Yanqing said. Yes, you are this. Uesugi Aki glared at the masked man and stood up. Then, she saw the other 4 masked men huddled in the car. At that moment, she was stunned for a moment, and then seemed to react. The mask of the thief boss was suddenly removed. Inside, a bearded face was revealed, rough and dark due to long-term poor life, compared to Su Chen, who looked clean and refreshing. Uesugi Mingai's expression gradually became puzzled. Disguise. Wang Yanqing walked over. He had already seen this trick of Su Chen. He stretched out his 2 hands, grabbed the face of the thief boss, and then pulled it a few times. The other party grimaced in pain, but no makeup fell off. Instead, Wang Yanqing grabbed a handful of dirt. Wang Yanqing's expression gradually became puzzled, and the other 4 thieves in the car were also taken down and their masks were removed. There was no Su Chen. The scene of the pursuit team was shown in the live broadcast room without omission, and the barrage of comments was crazy. Let me guess, both sides should be very confused now. There are stupid fruits on the stupid tree, and you and I are under the stupid tree. We are from a god's perspective. If I were at the scene, my CPU would probably burn out. I thought that Su Chen's identity was exposed and the show was coming to an end, but now it seems that I still underestimated him. When I think of the expert group chasing the car so passionately, I want to laugh. Sorry, that you fooled 2 groups of people at once. I can only say it's awesome. Although Officer Wang's drift is cool, he can't escape Su Chen's routine. Ha ha ha, you think you are on the 2nd floor, but Su Chen is on the 5th floor. No, Su Chen is in the atmosphere. Fork in the road. But Su Chen's mobile phone signal is located here. A police officer next to him asked in confusion. Hearing this, Uesugi Aki tilted her head and thought for a while, then she got into the car, and soon she took out a fingertip-sized phone card chip from under the car seat. This is the source of the signal. The other experts were immediately shocked when they saw this. It seems that this time, we have fallen into Su Chen's trap of luring the tiger away from the mountain. Qin Ming sighed and looked at the confused people who were controlled. But since they were driving Su Chen's car, they must have had contact with Su Chen. Let's interrogate them on the spot. 5 minutes later, the thief boss, sitting on the simple version of the regret chair, was crying and narrating in detail how Su Chen robbed their car and how he left. He now felt like he had survived a disaster. He thought he was going to be shot before, therefore, his cooperative attitude seemed particularly good. Woo-woo, comrade police, it turns out that the guy who robbed our car was Su Chen. No wonder. The thief boss and his accomplices suddenly realized, they knew Su Chen's reputation, but when they stole the car, they had to work, so they didn't have time to watch the live broadcast. Damn, if they knew it was Su Chen, they would never have thought of him even if they were given 8 brains. Now they regret it very much, the second thief said tentatively. That means this is in the show, can we leave? Leave? By Su, who was in charge of the interrogation, crossed her arms and glanced at them meaningfully. You are very brave, you dare to steal the Public Security Bureau's bus. She gestured to the police behind her. Send a few of you to the police station as guests. The employees of the private vehicle transfer company immediately lost their temper and slumped in their chairs. They let the police officers take them to the car and take them back to the police station with their heads down. They thought that they would be able to enjoy a good life after doing this job. they didn't expect that they would be waiting for prison food, and this time they would probably have to pay more. Damn it. It was equivalent to Su Chen sending them in, and taking their van. For free. This car is public, he didn't lose anything. The more I think about it, the more uncomfortable I feel, and the expert team that stopped at the spot was not much better than them. He tricked me again. Qin Ming shook his head, not knowing what expression to make. This Su Chen, his identity has been exposed, and it is still difficult to catch him. He is a very cunning enemy. Wang Yanqing was silent for a long time, and blurted out this sentence. At the same time, Sunshine Resort, outside the Cirque du Soleil tent, Su Chen had already dealt with the thief boss's van, counted the $100 bills in his hand several times, and then put them in his pocket. He stopped outside the circular tent of the circus, bent down, and picked up a scattered poster from the ground. On it was a beautiful photo of a beauty, and an introduction written in exaggerated fonts. Magic, acrobatics, and burlesque performances. Today, the star beauty of the circus will also bring you a special show. Below it was a performance schedule. The performances are divided into 3 sessions, at 9:30 a.m., 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. Su Chen looked at the watch. It's 8 o'clock now, and there is still an hour and a half before the next performance, which is enough time. I think the owner of the circus probably won't mind an extra actor and an extra performance. As he said that, he shrugged and slipped into the circus tent through a small door.